What's up, everybody? My name is KSaun. Welcome back to the WDL. This is the Season 2 Toilet Bowl Semifinals, which means we are down to 4 teams in the Toilet Bowl. If you missed last week, we had 4 really good best of 3s. It was me winning 2-0 over Mr. Aloha in the Pineapple Pizza, with Lightning from FF13 putting on a show. We had Maverick of the Spaghetti Western eking out a close series over All Smoked Up of the Goomy Gods, thanks to an absolutely clutch Petrify from Mustadio. We had JesusLBL and the Strawhats winning another very close series over King Delita and the Black Sheep Knights. King Delita's Vadim kind of popped off in game 1, but it turns out Sadali was a little too much for him to handle over the next 2 games, and the final series was Spike of Bebop's crew with the upset 2-0 victory over the Corpse Brigade, with his Earth team being just a little too accurate for those evasion units. So if you guys missed those, they were really awesome, and we've got a couple of awesome best of 3s for you guys today as well. Before we jump into the matchup previews though, and see who makes our grand finals of the Toilet Bowl, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to numero 80, the first ever YouTube channel member here. If you guys are unaware, I actually just recently turned on the ability to become members of my YouTube channel, which is essentially the same as like Twitch subscribers, kind of. Essentially, you like pay a certain amount a month to be able to use like emotes in the channel, in the chat, and stuff like that. And then there's a few different tiers. This is by no means expected of anyone to do so, but if for any reason you do decide that you really value this content and want to financially support it, I did turn that on, and to anyone in the future who does do that, just know that I'm very appreciative. And again, numero 80, thank you so much for being the first ever member of the channel. That being said, I want to also let you guys know that I am going to be live streaming now coming up. I haven't really done this ever since I created my YouTube channel. I used to stream on Twitch just every once in a while with games I like to play, but now it is something that I want to try and do regularly on the channel, and my goal is essentially to stream every single Monday. And if there are other days where I can stream, then I'm hoping to do that as well. But just so you guys know, if you guys are watching this on Monday when this video comes out, that I'm probably going to be streaming tonight for the first time in a very long time. So you guys can either watch on this channel here or on twitch.tv/KSaun. So either one is perfectly acceptable. So anyway, that is my long-winded rant. Thank you to all of you guys who watch, like, and subscribe and all that good stuff. We've got 2 awesome best of 3s for you. Let's jump into the first one. Alright guys, for the first preview today, we are going to do the top part of the bracket and then the bottom part, similarly to how we did it last week. And again, these are, obviously this is a series that I've seen before because it is my team, but the other one I haven't seen yet, so it should be a good time. And before I jump into what units are on the screen, I want to give a little history for my career as a WoTV player versus Maverick. I have qualified for 3 top 8 finals appearances in Orange A's tournaments. I actually only participated in 3, and I qualified for top 8 all 3 times. The first time I ever did it, I actually won the whole thing, which was really awesome, and was part of the reason that gave me confidence to start this YouTube channel. So huge shout out to Orange A and Friday Night Fights for, kind of inspiring me to do any of the stuff that I do now. The second one I qualified for, I actually couldn't participate. My best friend's bachelor party was that week, but the third one I participated in, there was a bunch of WDL players in. For example, I ended up beating McCrane in the first round. The second round, I lost to none other than my opponent today, Maverick. And Maverick actually ended up winning the entire thing, the whole top 8, against none other than Willy Goats in the grand final. So some very familiar names for you guys in that top 8. But this is a brand new thing with a bunch of different units. Last time he beat me with a Sadali Charm, and he doesn't have Sadali this time at least, so that's a good sign. But looking at the matchup, he's got Velas Skahal, King of Leonis Mont, Halloween Little Leela, Agrius, Gargus, Winter Ravi, Salir, Mustadio, Liarte, and Glaciella Wazette. On my squad, I've got Little Leela the Bold, Ibarra, Lightning, Garvel, Yuna, Moraga, Kane, Shadowlynx, Titus, Severo, and Gargus. And honestly, 2 teams who just barely missed the playoffs. I expected a lot coming out from Maverick this week. Just looking at the matchups, he has so much magic threat, which honestly for me is kind of scary. For one, if you look at my 2 tanks, I have Moraga, who is an excellent physical tank, but he is just really squishy to magic, and Titus is kind of in that same boat. He is weak to slash, he is weak to magic, He's good for Pierce, which is cool, but unless he brings Glaciella, which I don't expect, Titus really doesn't do much for me there in that department. So in order to build up my tank to get, you know, good resistances, I really have to invest in a lot of other things. That being said as well, it's hard for me to go to Evasion because he has a lot of accuracy stuff. Skahal has guaranteed hits, Gargus has guaranteed hits, Glaciella has guaranteed hits, Salir has it for the first 3 turns. I think you guys can see where I'm going. So for this matchup, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go offense. I'm going to go Ibarra. I'm going to go Lightning. I'm going to go Severo. He doesn't really have Earth on his team other than Mustadio, so I'm not afraid of the element. And I'm just going to see how it goes and hope for the best. So let's jump into game 1 of this series and see what happened. Alright guys, for this first game, I expected a full magic team coming out from Maverick, and you can see a fairly high magic stat, but it is not full magic. And immediately looking at this tells me that this team is probably that Velas Skahal team that I pumped up all season and said I want to see it from Maverick. I didn't want to see it against me though. That team is terrifying. So as we load up here, that is exactly what's going on. It is that Velas Skahal Liarte. Velas can fill basically a very similar role to what Resnick does for Skahal, except he also has haste, making the team very, very speedy. So this is scary. So he's going to haste himself and Liarte right out of the gate. Skahal's going to go with his zombie transformation, and you're going to see that I have Lightning kind of off on her own here, hoping that I can find a 1v1 with something else, as I do like her chances against most units, but Skahal is not most units, so we'll have to see. Ibarra's going to pop her magic attack, resist piercing, and damage up buff. Bells is going to come off online for Liarte, so she is ready to go here. And you can see Severo only has 2 movement. He is running that bow tie for some hate, basically hoping to get his courage online, as Maverick doesn't really have much courage removal. And basically, if he can start soaking some hits, maybe buy some lightning some time, that would be great. Thunderga Disposer comes off. You're going to see I actually soak that pretty well, 2900 damage, decent AoE resist, and the barrier. Barrage does a good chunk, but crucially does not proc the courage on Severo, which should give me a chance. Lightning, I'm hoping for a ton of damage, actually goes for slow shot, crits for 5100, and Pursuit does not proc the courage. And courage doesn't really matter because he's not high health, but I was hoping to one-shot Skahal here. Lightning I saw as a means to basically counter him because the follow-up attack is considered a separate attack, and you can kind of bypass the courage with those 2 hits right back to back. That being said, Ibarra gets zombie re-raise online, but a heal coming off on Skahal puts me in a lot of danger, and I say, uh-oh, this is probably a flare, which is going to break Lightning's barrier. Liarte goes off, pops up a big barrage, now finally proccing the courage on Severo. Counter Siphon comes out doing damage, which is nice, gets him below that 30% or 70% threshold, but Lightning is down already, and now I'm in a 2v3. Severo is on healing duty. Ibarra comes out with a magic buster, drops Liarte. It is now down to a 2v2, which is not bad. But man, I think below the healing threshold, yes, he is. Velas is going to get it, and now there's still a hasted up Skahal in a 1v2. This should be a water gun coming out from Severo, though. He has a lot of range for damage. He doesn't get it off. Thunderga Disposer goes off first. I make a crucial mistake not having the Trust Stone on Severo with casting time down, so he doesn't get the ability off. It would have done probably not enough to Skahal, realistically. That being said, the heal comes back on. Magic Buster procs courage, but it doesn't matter. This is immortal Skahal. He is just going to obliterate everybody. And Ibarra coming back with a re-raise. The only chance I have in this fight is Magic Reflex. And you're going to see level 4 Blizzaga comes out. No Magic Reflex for me. And I kind of get destroyed in game 1. So, coming out from this game 1, I decided a couple of things. One, with the positioning and how everything worked out, I was very confused as to why Lightning went for slow shot first. I'm almost certain that she has other skills that she can hit from that spot that does more damage. And I actually watched this game back to look at the range and the height range from where they were standing. And from everything that I could see, there's no reason that Lightning shouldn't have been able to go for Scourge, which is the exact same range. It's height range, or it's range 4, height range 1, which is basically the same as like slow shot for these purposes because they're on the same height. So I couldn't figure out why she didn't go for a higher damage skill here, unless Skahal has absolutely insane slash resistance, but Skahal is not known for that, so I don't think that's the case. So I actually turned off slow shot going into game 2 to try and force her to use this ability. I thought there might be a chance that because of Skahal's courage just working in a very strange way, it might cause her AI to do really strange things. So that being said, I didn't know how many different teams would give me a chance to win here. I decided to go with the same 3 units. I decided to turn that ability off, and I changed my VCs to go more offensive than defensive, because I said, you know what, Skahal is going to minimum 2-shot everybody on my team anyway. I might as well go for damage. So in game 2, my Lightning's attack stat goes from about 1450 to almost 1800, which is a huge boost. So we'll see if this offensive adjustment pays off for me or if I'm going home early. Game number 2, guys, and looking at the magic stat for Maverick, 5100, this is the team that I actually expected game 1, and my vision cards were very much set up that way for game 1 because my magic resist was through the roof on most units. That being said, I changed up a couple of those VCs as I mentioned, so we'll have to see if it can still work for me. Triple mage, this is Solir, this is Gargus, and this is Little Leela Halloween, and we've seen this strategy before. The rush strat from Little Leela does a massive chunk to Ibarra, 6k right out of the gate. And oh boy, this is Heart of Flutter coming out from Gargus, so they are all out offense. Lightning's going to go with her buff, so she has her follow-up and the barrier. So she is set up nicely, but Ibarra is basically one hit from dead. What can she do? She's going to return the damage onto Little Leela. Said, hey, you can nuke me, I can do it back to you as well. 9600 damage is good for the KO. And now it is a 3v2 in my favor. However, Severo, with his massive range, is actually in range to deal damage, which I don't like, because this should be a Water Gu. It's going to drop Bravery, but only 2300 damage. The Bravery down really doesn't matter much for Gargus. Bolt Surge comes out, drops the unit resist, does almost half of Lightning's health, which is more than I like to see. But Lightning, can you get a kill here? Scourge, this is the ability that I wanted her to use on Skahal last time. One-shots the Solir, but you're going to see Bursting Light gets a double kill for Gargus, and he's going to go again. Can he reach with an Arrow Gun Disperser? He actually can't. Lightning, I need you to one-shot right here. Spark Strike comes out, 3800 damage. Pursuit for 2400. And I managed to get the kill with Lightning in an absolute just bloodbath right out of the gate. No time for many buffs in this game too, with basically this blitz strategy coming out from Maverick. Honestly, if Gargus was like one space closer or Lightning was one height range different, I might have lost. There's a chance that Gargus could have done that much damage from that far away, even with the barrier. It's hard to say, but I managed to pick up a game 2 win, which at least brings me to a game 3. And now I thought about it a little bit and I said, okay, this team comp that I'm bringing, I'm going to assume that he probably brings what he brought in game 1. And I'm not 100% sure yet if I can kill Skahal in one shot. I think I can with the Scourge ability, but he could change up like movement, positioning, all that kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? I feel like I kind of stole game 2. So for game 3, I'm going to try and switch up my team. He's probably going to expect me to do the exact same thing. So I end up bringing Titus and Garvel for game 3, thinking Garvel with his shield, maybe getting a lucky reflex, might be able to live a couple of hits. Titus can at least hopefully draw some aggro, and we'll hope for the best. I know that for sure I'm bringing Lightning in game 3 because she is a major damage dealer, and like I said, pretty much, in my opinion, my only answer to Skahal, as she does have that follow-up attack. We'll see if I can get lucky in game 3, see if I can pull off this victory and make the grand finals. All right, guys, the final game of our series between me and Maverick is hovering Mustadio with 3700 magic. So this is not the team from game number 1, but with that high magic stat and Maverick showing Mustadio 50 cost, I have to guess this is probably Skahal Little Leela at this point. And the only thing that gives me a little bit of solace is that he shouldn't have a ton of heals backing up Skahal, unless that is really defensive Little Leela. We'll have to see what happens here. So I've got my Titus running Bowtie, so he has 2 movement and some hate. We've got the position change up here as Maverick's Mustadio pops bells, and the Black Rose Helena TMR comes out from Little Leela Halloween. Skahal should be going for zombie re-raise, which he does, so he will have to basically be hit 3 times to actually die. Lightning's going to go with her barrier buff, getting some resists up, but the resist shouldn't matter a ton except for Mustadio's damage, as I'm just going barrier after barrier after barrier with Garvel popping that next. Immortal Spirit from Titus, so even though he's not the tankiest first magic, 11,000 health and courage should at least make him live a few hits, and I'm hoping that he can get out front to tank. So Little Leela Halloween going to move forward, so is Mustadio. Skahal, what is he going to go for? He's going to channel what looks like a winged staff buff as Target comes out from Lightning, and she's going to move forward. Wingstaff goes up so he can move as much as he wants here, and I'm looking at the turn order, and I'm slightly concerned here, because Garvel's going to move forward, but now I'm seeing it's Little Leela Halloween who's going to get a chunk of damage on Lightning, 2456. Mustadio's going to go next, Skahal's going to go before Lightning, which is really bad for me, but I notice Maverick's Mustadio moving out of the way actually turns the CT order, and now Lightning is actually moving before Skahal because the affinity bonus is lost. Lightning, you need to get a ton of damage off here. What can you do? Life Siphon 2 absolutely nukes everybody, destroys Mustadio, destroys Little Leela Halloween, destroys Skahal, and I basically land a triple kill with my MVP of the regular season. But Skahal is an absolute nightmare. Can he go absolutely nuts here? Thunderga Disposer, it's not enough to take a kill on anybody. Garvel's going to walk up, get the jamming thrust on Skahal, and I end up winning Game 3 and the series. I'll be real with you guys. I didn't expect to win this series. I honestly thought I was going to lose. I thought this matchup was rough for me. I was happy to see my Lightning pop off. I mean, she's like the only reason that I had a chance in this series. That massive AoE in Game 3 was absolutely ludicrous. I mean, she basically one-shot the Earth unit, which is just like crazy. I know he's an MR, but still, she one-shot everybody on Maverick's team. So first of all, GG's to Maverick, super awesome guy. I chatted with him on voice chat this week during our matches. We actually got all of our matches done in the span of about an hour, so there wasn't a ton of time for each one of us to like come up with team comps in between. We basically just gave each other like 15-20 minutes between each game, but we got through them quickly. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I'm super happy to be representing the Rundal division in the grand finals, as I know I was the only Rundal team left in the top 4. And I'm excited to see who I face between Jesus and Spike. So those are the other 2 teams to check out. Let's jump into that series and see who won. All right, guys, the final semifinal series for today to see who wins to face me in the Toilet Bowl Grand Finals. On the left side, we have Spike of the Guild Thunder Gods, coach of Bebop's crew, Oberon, Resnick, the Hoppy, Celis, Garvel, Luel, Raldor, Phoebe, Adelard, Little Leela, Mish, and Frederica. JesusLBL on the other side of the guild, Get Swifty, coach of the Strawhats, as Starlight Elena, Sodali, Black Rose Helena, Locke, Titus, Rachez, Yuna, Cyrell, Rairu, Mia, and Lilith. Little history between these 2 players. Last season, the Straw Hats were actually the 2 seed entering the playoffs, and Spike, I believe, was the 5 seed, maybe the 6 seed or something like that. But Spike, I think, actually pulled off an upset against JesusLBL last season in a very impressive showcase. I think it was on Coastline 2. I remember that match because it was a banger. It was a very, very well done by Spike, and I say this because Spike is a very creative player, and I think he's going to have to have a chance in this series, if I'm completely honest. I see the win team on JesusLBL's side, which basically won earlier this season against Spike. Jesus won the series 2-1, but the win team was 2-0 in a pretty dominant fashion. Sodali, Cyrell, Yuna is that squad that he ran earlier this season, and I honestly just don't know what Spike has for an answer here. I expect Frederica to come out in some fashion. The reason I say that is because looking at the units, I don't think he wants to run Earth, which means Oberon, Resnick, and Luel are out. Celis is cool for soaking up like Sodali damage, but if you run Celis, like, do you have enough damage? I don't know. It's tough. And Raldor, I'm sure, can bring the pain. Like, I'm sure he could absolutely chunk anybody on JesusLBL's side, but Raldor is very weak to magic damage and also fairly weak to slash damage, which is essentially what this win team brings. So honestly, if Spike is going to win this, he's going to have to get creative. I expect Frederica to come out and probably either Garvel or Raldor at some point. We'll have to see what he cooks up here, as I expect the win team fully from JesusLBL's side. He could switch it up just to maybe throw off Spike a little bit. We'll have to see. Let's jump into this series and see who makes the grand finals. Game number 1 between these 2 teams, guys. We've got JesusLBL's Cyrell showing on the left. Not a surprise. Like I said, I think that win team was almost guaranteed to come. We've got Phoebe showing on Spike's side. So is this a Quick and Frederica combo? Because we've seen him try something like this before. It is, and he actually does bring the Celis, so hoping that Celis can tank up damage for long enough for Frederica to blow up the team. And she's actually going to walk straight forward immediately. Sharpshoot does about half of the damage to Sodali. And now the question is, can Quicken come off from Phoebe in time for Frederica to blow him up before Yuna gets a heal? This actually could be massive. I don't know, though. Concentration comes out from Cyrell, so basically getting the agility up on the entire squad. Will that change any sort of turn order with the casting time, all that stuff? Runic Blade comes out from Celis, so she's ready to go. But whose channel goes off first? Because this is going to be a Kiriga, no doubt. And it's a Speed Force. It is not a Quicken. Okay, so okay, well, it'll be interesting now. It looks like most teams, or both teams, should be able to just, like, buff now instead. Probably slow down the fight a little bit. Can Frederica reach? No, she can't. She goes for aim fire. So basically resetting the fight. Everybody calm down after that immediately used sharpshoot. Double resist comes out from Cyrell. That's actually a really nice buff against Frederica, getting some missile resist up. And this team from Jesus is so incredibly hard to beat because it has triple re-raise. There is Yuna re-raise, Sadali re-raise, and then Yuna uses her own zombie mask on herself, and everybody has re-raise, which is not something you face often. Celis is going to get Yuna attack resist up, going to move forward. Divine Sacrament, getting a bunch of offensive buffs online. And what does Frederica go for? Can she go? Yeah, she goes Bells. So that's huge. One thing I will say is unless you can double, like use 2 abilities immediately with Frederica, you want to get Bells online because she kind of falls off pretty hard if you can't use her abilities here. But so many buffs just going over and over. A refresh on the concentration buff. And I'm curious, can Spike's Frederica get in range for a barrage on everybody? Because they're all super clumped up here. How far away is she? She does go for barrage. It's only on Sadali though, 3,200 damage. Probably not as much as you'd like to see. Sermon of Power, AoE resist up. That's going to hurt as well. And the problem is with so many re-raises and the heals coming out from Yuna, Frederica's going to have to take out Yuna or it's going to be extremely hard to get through Jesus' team here. And I think the 3rd time that Cyrell has used concentration up to this point. Speed Force comes online. So very speedy on both sides right now. Frederica should be able to get an AoE here now this time, I think. Yeah, she goes for barrage on the whole party. How much damage did it do to Yuna? A lot, and she gets Aeon Bond. Oh my gosh, the counter that was the bane of everybody's existence for so damn long. Crystalline Reckoning, though, coming out on Celis. 4,000 damage, it does land the charm. That is pretty massive. It looks like the turn order. Celis is going to go next. She's going to friendly fire on her own teammate here. How much does this do? Rune Break, 2830, and drops the Spirit. That is brutal coming out from Spike here. Honestly, I don't know how he wins this. The timing would have to work out so perfectly here where Frederica would have to get a huge amount of damage into the Quicken from Phoebe. Cyrell's going to go Constricting Cleave. It does break the charm on Celis, which is nice for Spike's side. Quicken comes out, but it's on the Celis, and she is not the main damage dealer. She needs to walk forward, though, which could help. Magic Burst. Does she walk forward? No, she doesn't. Wait. Yeah, she does. Okay, Counter Cure goes off first. That heal is massive, though. I just don't know how you get through this team. Barrage comes through. 3,800 damage onto the Cyrell. And Indoctrination's going to double kill. Yeah, this game 1 is going to be over. Honestly, this win team just looking incredibly terrifying for Jesus here. And Phoebe probably going to go for a full life here. What can she do? Channels the spell. Curiga onto the Cyrell, so everybody's full health again. Full life comes out, raises the Celis. But honestly, oh my god. Cyrell is absolutely disgusting. She is an MR unit, but she does not hit like one. Mend Thy Ways comes out, takes out Celeste again. And JesusLBL is going to get a convincing Game 1 win over Spike here. So if you're Spike at this moment, losing this way in game number 1, I mean, what do you do? What do you change up to as Phoebe tries to go for the stop? Doesn't land it onto Sadali here. What kind of adjustments do you make? Do you try to bring out something like Raldor? Like, he's so damn weak to magic that you think Sadali would probably just pop him in like one hit? Maybe that's not true. But yeah, it is brutal. Like, you'd have to basically figure out a way for him to get into the backline dealing damage. One thing I will say is that Spike does have Little Leela, who is an amazing SR unit. If he can combo Raldor with Little Leela and maybe something like Frederica or Garvel to get extra damage down, maybe that is his best option. We'll have to see what he busts out in game 2, see if he can bring it to a game 3. All right, guys, game number 2 of this series. We've got JesusLBL on the side. The left side, still bringing that win team, and Spike does switch it up to the Garvel with a pretty balanced attack and magic stat. So did he bring out Frederica again, or does he go with the Raldor? What is he going to go for here? And it is, okay, so it is Raldor, Little Leela, Garvel. And the biggest question for me here is where's Little Leela's positioning? Because the only way that I think Spike can have a chance here is if Little Leela is far enough away from Raldor. And as I say that, I can't see where she is, which means she is probably pretty far away from these two carries. Garvel's going to go with his 3-hit barrier. Raldor, what does he do? He's going to go for Pugilistic Mastery. Strike attack up, defense piercing rate up, unit attack resist, bunch of really nice buffs. And Little Leela must be on the clear opposite side. So now, depending on the movement, does JesusLBL's units target Little Leela before they get to the damage dealers? This is the one question. If they somehow hit Raldor first, I think it's just GG. Divine Healing comes out from Little Leela. She's going to walk forward. but she is quite a ways away. But we saw in game 1, this team from JesusLBL just going to do buffs on repeat over and over as Divine Sacrament comes out. Double resist again from the Cyrell. And missile and pierce resist, not going to be super important. Garble technically does have some missile attacks in his kit, but most of his are magic based. Padfoot comes out, a very nice option. Hate down. The hate down probably doesn't matter a whole lot because there should be hate on Little Leela already, but he gets hasted and Raldor has bells. So these two damage dealers are ready to nuke somebody if they can get an opportunity. But all these re-raises coming out from Jesus' side as well. I don't know, man. Divine Sacrament comes out again, just another refresh, and they're just going to sit back and wait for Spike's teams to close in on them. And this might actually be bad for Spike because the haste on Garble might make him go too quickly to the front line. Little Leela might not be able to get there. Hyper reactivity, though, the physical reflex option. Garble has both physical and magical reflex, but you have to pick which one you want. He ends up deciding on the physical one and dodges the Cyrell attack. 6,000 damage comes out from Raldor. That is a very nice start, but can Little Leela get into range? I don't remember if she has jump 2 or jump 1. It looks like jump 1, and she is still really far back. But Garble, with that haste, he's going to go immediately. Jamming Thrust is going to come out. That is going to get rid of the Cyrell. She should have re-raise still, so she's going to pop back up. Can Sodily get in range to deal damage, though? And does he have any sort of heals turned on? It doesn't seem like he does, as he goes Sermon of Power and walks forward. Yuna, though, does have heals. And now the question is, does she get this heal off in time? Garble's going to go next. Probably just pop the Cyrell. Yeah, he's going to. This heal is actually going to miss from Yuna, and maybe this is the play coming up from Spike. This is looking very good for him, as this Kiriga is actually going to whiff completely. Spike looking to try and bring this to a game 3. Raldor with that massive movement going to jump right over, go to the back line, say, hey Yuna, let me dap you up real quick, and not in a good way. Chasm Render comes out, 7,600 damage. No, that is not on Yuna, that is on Sodily. The leader of the church himself, what is he going to go for? He's channeling a spell, but literally is going to go for it. She can't land a silent spell. I wondered if she could in the middle of the cast. She cannot reach it. The AoE is too massive as Sodily does a ton of damage. Does his heal go off, though? Garble, does he take out Sodily? No, he goes for Yuna. Jamming Thrust is going to delete her. This Kiriga is not going to go off. And you have to imagine Spike is going to win this game 2 now, because that heal is no more. She got dropped. Raldor, who does he go for? He just punches Yuna in the mouth. Sodily is an incredible unit. The only way he wins this, though, is with a massive charm, and he's not even going to go for it. He's going to channel a spell, Rush Not Thy Fate, 1,500 damage. Little Leela, can she pick up the kill to close this out? 685 from the silencing spell. He does drop. He does still have re-raise, though, but Raldor looks like he's going to go next, so he should be able to end it right here. And Spike, man, I didn't think Spike would have an answer for this win team. Spike is an incredible player, though, and a very creative one, so it doesn't shock me that he came up with something, but looking at the matchup, I didn't know if there was something that could match this. I thought this was like a no-brainer. Jesus just brings this and wins, but showing me that he's got an answer for it. So now the question is, does JesusLBL bring the exact same comp for game 3? You have to imagine that Spike's going to bring the same comp. Like, I can't imagine he risks changing to something else. But we've got 2 3-game series in the semifinals of the Toilet Bowl, which is really exciting. I'm sitting there waiting in the finals. Who will I be up against? Will it be Jesus? Will it be Spike? Let's jump into the final game of this round and find out. The final game of this round, guys, it's JesusLBL's win team again. So it doesn't look like he changes it up and Spike is bringing the same squad. So this makes me think that JesusLBL probably is changing something, like whether it's VCs or, positioning, skill order, something like that. I imagine some sort of switch up. There's no way he brings the exact same thing twice. I will say he got physical reflexed in game 1. I didn't, pay super close attention to tell what would have happened differently had that not happened. We'll have to see. It looks like the exact same positioning coming out from Spike. I don't know if this is the exact same from Jesus, but it's very, very similar to last game. So we'll have to see how this changes up here. Pugilistic Mastery comes out from Raldor. And Cyrell, what does she do? She goes Call of the Wild. Is this the same as game 1? I feel like you might have done double resist last time. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. Re-raise comes out from Yuna, and that is one of the triple re-raises that is probably going to come out from Jesus here. And Spike's Little Leela just going to go Divine Healing again, so it looks like the exact same thing from Spike. Divine Sacrament. Another similar buff to last game. And I'm wondering what the switch up is. I'm waiting to see what it is. It's possible that Jesus's positioning is slightly different from last time. I didn't pay super close attention. There are some spaces you can start on this map that are just ever so slightly different. So he might have been like one spot back, maybe hoping that Garvel couldn't reach or something. We'll have to see. Re-raise comes out from Yuna on herself with the zombie TMR. Concentration comes up, the agility buff, and I think the buffs from Cyrell are different this time. I did not see her go for double resist at all. And what's going to happen here? Sodali just going to go for Divine Sacrament again. Just refresh that. Does Yuna have any buffs left? Yes, she does. She's going to channel a spell here. Raldor, what does he go for? He can't quite get in range, and this is looking different than last time. So this tells me that Jesus, either with the agility tuning or with the positioning, this is slightly different. What's going on here? Frost Axe actually comes out and hits the little Leela this time instead of the Garvel. Went for Garvel last time, but it got reflex. This time a good chunk onto little Leela. She is frostbitten and about half health. Spirit Blaster does about 4,800 and increases his own spear pacing rate. But oh, this is a massive difference from JesusLBL. Goes for the limit break on Raldor. Does the charm land? It does not. Oh my god, does Raldor have innate charm resist, or is this just a charm resist buildup from Spike? If so, well freaking played by Spike, because that is like a 66% chance for charm, I think. Wicked Pummel is going to drop that Cyrell. She does have the re-raise. And what's going to happen there, though, I think Yuna is channeling a Kiriga. Chi Shot's going to come out and drop Cyrell. So this is very similar to last game. This Kiriga is going to miss from Yuna. Spike out to an early 3-2 lead again. Spike might be able to clean up this series. We'll have to see. So Little Leela's going to walk forward, just lose some AP, not really get much done, but Sodali going to go for some damage here, I think, on the Raldor. What can he go for? He goes Limit Break onto Yuna. You have to imagine this is just going to obliterate her. We'll have to see. This time does dap up Yuna, not the Sodali, but she does have re-raise online. What can Sodali do here? He should be able to kill this Raldor right here, I believe, as Yuna is probably just going to go for a heal. Oh my god, the casting times are so long, though. Jamming Thrust comes out. Oh my god, Jamming Thrust interrupts casting time. Sodali's damage is not going to go off. That is a massive Jamming Thrust by Garvel. Holy shit. And Little Leela's going to go next. Can she find a silence? She cannot. Divine Healing comes up. If she found a silence, that was GG. Rush Not Thy Fate comes out, a good chunk of damage onto Raldor. It is now a 2v2 again, and honestly, all of a sudden, this looks like it might be in Jesus' favor again. Sodali's going to go next. Indoctrination doesn't do a ton, but does move out of the way of Yuna, which could be good. Could Garvel still reach her? He goes for the Sodali, does not one-shot, and Sodali still, I believe, has his re-raise on. I don't think he actually got dropped. Kiriga comes out. He is full health again. Do they have enough damage to chew through him, though? And Little Leela's coming up. Jamming Thrust nukes the Yuna. She is going to drop. She doesn't have re-raise anymore. That already got lost. If a silence lasts, this... Oh my god. Spike is going to win this, I think. 10 actions left. I don't know how Sodali's going to do damage. He is silenced, and there are only 10 actions left. I think this is all but over. I think Spike is going to win this game 3. Garvel's got 45 AP. How much damage can you do? Spirit Blaster. Actually, you don't even want to kill him. Wait, Little Leela, you don't want to kill him, because if he comes up, he's not silenced anymore. Oh my god. Sodali is up next. What is the cast time? Can he get this off in time and nuke both units? He goes right now. Holy shit, this is coming down to the wire. Spirit Breaking Pain is going to kill Garvel. Little Leela has more health than Sodali, though. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. And Spike wins that on health. Oh, holy shit. Dude, I don't even know what to say. Holy crap. That was actually almost a massive comeback win by Jesus on that final turn, because Garvel killed Sodali, and it almost allowed Jesus a chance to win. Wow. GG's to both players. Honestly, that series was fantastic. Congratulations to Spike for pulling off that upset. I honestly didn't think he would have a team to beat this win team. Just looking at the matchups, I thought the win team would just beat whatever he could bring. And I think Jesus probably thought the exact same thing. GG's to both players. Jesus, well fought all season, man. I'm feeling heartbreak for you. That series was so damn close. And honestly, just a really, really fantastic watch. Nothing to be ashamed of. Wow. GG's. I really don't know what else to say other than that to both of these players. Extremely well done by both. And Spike, I will be seeing you in the grand finals of the Toilet Bowl. So with that said, let's check out the bracket and see what it looks like. All right, guys, my mind is still blown from that final series with Spike and just edging out that victory just barely. at the end of game 3. I can't believe how close that was. But looking at this bracket, Spike actually played in the first round of the Toilet Bowl. He did not have a first round bye, beat Unhindered 2-0, beat Willie Goats and the Corpse Brigade 2-0, and pulled off the upset against JesusLBL and the Strawhats 2-1. If you look straight off the seeding, he should have lost in this round, and he has pulled off 2 upsets, at least based off seeds. So honestly, excellent job by him. I ended up beating Mr. Aloha and then beating Maverick to get this far. And at this point, it is our grand finals of the Toilet Bowl. And basically, we made a rule before the Toilet Bowl started that whoever made the finals of the Toilet Bowl could decide between the 2 teams that basically it is a best of 3, but if both players decided they wanted to do a best of 5 instead, that we would do that. So I'm going to say right here now in this video, Spike, if you're down to do a best of 5, I am 100% down for it as well. I've never personally done a best of 5 because I didn't make the playoffs last year, but I think it could be a good time. If you don't want to and it's too much time, I'm down for best of 3 either way. But just let me know, and I'm excited for it either way. I'm excited to be in the Toilet Bowl finals, and this is a Thunder Gods Toilet Bowl finals. If you guys don't know, we are of the same guild. Spike is actually our guild leader. He helps so much in the Discord. He is a mod in the Discord. He creates the spreadsheets for us that we use in our drafts. So, you know, show some love to Spike in the comments down below, because he is a massive help and a massive reason why we were able to do this each and every week. So honestly, it's been so much fun. You know, hats off to Maverick and JesusLBL for performing really, really well all season. It was a lot of fun watching you guys. And good luck to Spike this coming week in the Toilet Bowl Grand Finals. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can expect tomorrow morning that the first round of the playoffs video will be out. So that will be Tuesday morning. Should be able to be 6 a.m. Central Time Tuesday morning. And yeah, look forward to me hopefully live streaming tonight. That is my plan, unless something goes completely awry. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have a wonderful day.